Back at it, man. We got another special guest here, man. We got Joker, real life street stars in the building.
Come on
Let's
now.
get it. Man. I'm super stoked about this interview, man.
Appreciate it.
Would you like to introduce yourself, man, to the crowd?
Let me go and do it, but before we even get started, man, I gotta say shout out Dom because not everybody knows what Southern hospitality really means. And as soon as I walked in, man, he came bearing gifts, and I wasn't born in 1942, but I sure do drink it. And this is the best of the best. And again, I gotta salute you, Dom, for just even having that Southern hospitality. Again, we locked in forever after this because most folks would have said, man, I ain't doing no goddamn 1942, but he came through and he held it down. So I gotta say thank you. I appreciate you, man. And let's go and get to it.
Yes, man. It's all good. It's all good, man.
They call me Real Life Joker, John the Joker. From those that know me back in my rap days, I'm one part of the Real Life Street Stars, co-creator, co-owner of Real Life Street Stars, Real Life Productions. Born in North Dallas, been in Dallas, Texas my whole life, just kind of representing the city, and it's a pleasure to be able to get to a situation where I'm able to even do interviews and even talk about the history and the comeuppance of real life. So I appreciate you.
Man, with that being said, is there any way, man, I can get the demographic of your background, man? You was raised in Texas?
Yeah, now let's do it, man. I be hearing stories, they be like, man, real life is ran by a bunch of Nigerians, which is kind of true, you know what I'm saying? Some of us have deeper roots than others. But now my dad is Nigerian. My dad is Nigerian. My mom is from Little Rock. So I'm like what you call a real African American, really down the middle African American. But yeah, my dad's from Nigeria. My mom's from Little Rock. They both came to Dallas. They had me. I'm Dallas born and raised, St. Paul Hospital. Born in North Dallas, 35 on Royal Lane. Then moved over to Skillman and D as I got a little older. And when I think it was 8, 9 years old, I moved to Skillman and D in North Dallas, and that's when I met my other counterparts that's in real life with me. We all met each other when, again, I wasn't even 10 years old yet, but I ain't even bust a cherry yet. So that's how long I've been knowing my guys, and that's how long we've been rocking to be able to do this business together. So it ain't nothing that we started in college or thought about in high school. It really was grade school, 4th grade, 5th grade, just together rocking, just having fun, and then we just kept the fun going, and here we are.
What areas did you grow up in of Dallas, man, when you first got here?
Royal Lane, right off of 35. Everybody knows Royal Lane is famous for. It's kind of like a Korean town. They got a lot of Japanese massage parlors over there. If you know what I'm saying. But right there off Royal Lane at 35, up the street from Harry Hines, where a lot of people know. It's a very famous road in Dallas. If you ain't know. Right off of Harry Hines, I grew up there from. Pretty much from when I was born all the way up to 8th grade, my 4th grade year. And then I moved to North Dallas and went to Skillman and Delia, Sun Colony, for those who know the Dallas Metroplex. But right off of Skillman and Delia, right off 635, Sun Colony, that's me from 5th grade on, going to Wallace, Lake Highlands, kind of going from there. And then my mom, she was able to get us moved out from North Dallas and moved us to Garland, right off of Centerville. And for those who know about Centerville Crossing, right off of 635 in Ferguson and Centerville, that's when I started going to O'Banion. I was supposed to go to South Garland, but they said that their ethnic ratio was a little too overpopulated with blacks at the time. So they sent me to Lakeview. Okay. So I went to Lakeview for 4 years, which is out in, it's still Garland, but it's kind of in the Rowlett area near Lake Ray Hubbard. So I went to Lakeview for 4 years. That's where I met guys like Puka Leroy. I met Dosky G, Hot Rod. Those are some names, and a few other names that you guys may know. But that's where I met the other guys. When you look at Sixfold, Fast Money, I met them all in Garland. And then once I graduated Lakeview, and I had my son, I moved back to North Dallas where my mama raised me. I moved back to Sun Colony and went back to North Dallas and kind of been in North Dallas ever since.
Definitely.
From that time.
Definitely. I would love to get into that more, man. I want to first, man, let's take a step back, you know, you was talking about your high school days and, you know what I mean, just where you've been since you've been out here. How was it growing up, man, with your mom and your father? You know what I mean, did you have both parents active in your life?
Yeah, nah. So I grew up. Again, my dad's Nigerian. My mom's from Little Rocks. So she didn't. My mom didn't graduate high school. She never worked a day in her life. She worked for my dad a little bit, cleaning houses when I was like 2, but she never really. She was a homemaker her whole life. My dad is the one who was kind of working all day, every day, trying to provide for us. I got 3 sisters. I'm a middle child. I got one sister that's a year and a half older than me. I got another sister that's a year and a half younger than me. Then I got a sister that has cerebral palsy who's handicapped. She was born with cerebral palsy. She's 2 years younger than me. We're all technically 4 to 5 years apart. But that was my family. Me and my 3 sisters, me in the middle, and again taking care of a handicapped sister throughout life. So that made us a very, we one of the families that you watch on a movie that, you'd be like Home Alone or something where they all like close together. That was us. We was all 4 years apart, just all together right there. Just growing up, living life, watching, cartoons, Transformers, having fun Christmases, doing that. My dad was Nigerian, so he took me to a lot of Nigerian parties. He was good friends with Michael Irvin's wife. I met Michael Irvin, and he was a good family friend when I was. That's Michael Irvin of the Dallas Cowboys. If y'all don't know that, I don't know if there's more Michael Irvin's out there.
Most definitely.
But we was a good family friend with him of his first baby mama, who was Nigerian as well. And then when I was 7, I saw my dad. I came to the house. I saw my dad for the first time ever in my life slap my mama. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they were arguing about, but I came home and I was outside. I heard them argue. I didn't want to go in. We had like one of them screen doors to where you could open up your door, but the screen door was open. So the screen door was closed and the door was open. So I'm hearing them argue. I didn't want to see, so I'm looking in the window and I see him slap her. I'm like, oh, I'd never seen my dad touch my mom ever. I mean, they'll argue, light arguments, but I'd never seen that. And my mom was a one and done type of lady, man. She that one slap, she said, we done. So she got a divorce.
Okay.
My mom divorced my dad when I was 7, and my mom went I think about one or 2 years, just kind of being single, dated a dude, and then she married my stepfather, who was 20 years. He was from the military. He was in the army, and that kind of changed everything. But yeah.
Okay, man. If you don't mind me asking, man, how was that transition, man, from not having your father in the household or actually going through that separation with your parents? With you being young at that time, how did you interpret your environment at that time?
Yeah, so if anybody know African culture, African fathers, they take a lot of pride in their sons, even more so than daughters. And mind you, at the time, he only had one son. My dad had one other daughter before me and my 3 sisters back in Little Rock, but I never met her at the time. I know her now. But at the time, he had no sons. I was his only son, so he was really devastated not being able to have his son in his life because, African fathers really want to grow their sons to be, if not just like them, better than them. They want them to be president of something, So my dad was really he was very messed up about it, but he always made sure he came and got me, no matter what. Even if it wasn't with my sister, he came and got me. But I ain't gonna lie, the environment was chaotic, man. I remember one time, as my mom split from my dad, we were living on it wasn't Section 8, but it was I guess it's low income. Our rent was like $345 for staying in North Dallas at the time. My dad had a child. My mom put my dad on child support for like $75 or something like that. Some cheap, $200, and he just refused to pay it. He just did not want to pay. He just didn't believe in child support. Mind you, in Africa, women cannot put men on child support. It doesn't exist.
Most definitely.
So my dad was like, he just wasn't gonna pay it. So one day my mom just took all 4 of us, and again I have a handicapped sister who needs a wheelchair and a walker to get around, who has the education of the 3rd grader up into this right now. She just took us over to my dad's. My dad stayed on Coit at 635 in North Dallas, if y'all know where that is. She just pulled up, didn't even know if he was home, just pulled up, dropped us all off for one summer. And said, she's like, I just can't do it no more. Y'all got to go to y'all daddy's house. She dropped us off, knocked on the door, and she dipped. My My dad came out, saw us, was cussing out. He had a 1-bedroom apartment. He was living like a true African with he had a water bed, 1-bedroom apartment with a water bed in it. My mom dropped us all off at that 1-bedroom apartment on the 3rd floor, and he was upset. He's like, my mom stopped answering the phone. She went off. I think she went off to go gambling in Louisiana or something. She went off to do something for that whole summer. She dropped us off, and we just thugged it out the whole summer, man. One VCR with a couple of VHSs, and getting to know my dad's life. But even that was chaotic. So for me, it was for me. I had my sisters, man, so it was fun. I'm a kid. I got the name Joker back then, back when I was 8, 9 years old. So it's not nothing I didn't get this from rapping or nothing like that. I got it from back then not because Batman or Joker. It's just because I always had a sunny disposition towards life. I always found the humor in life. Nothing could ever really get to me and mess me up. So I guess my friends just calling me Joker back then. And during that summer, just during the time when my mom split up with my dad, that was just me just still enjoying life, still having my sisters and finding solitude in my friends. I just had like a lot of friends, and that's how I kind of made it, just through my friends.
Most definitely, man. I want to dive into that a little bit deeper, man. I don't want to, cause any certain traumas and stuff that come about. But
Please.
how was it seeing that, man? Like to see the kind of it was a little dysfunction, a lot of misunderstanding for you to be going through as a kid, with understanding that your mom have her own issues and your dad had his, and just being dropped off randomly without just knowing. How was that, to take in, to know that, mom and dad is never gonna be together again, or let me find some type of way to be okay with whatever's going on in my life at this time.
Let's get serious. They always say whenever people interview with shades on, they got something to hide, or they're trying to hide behind some other common pain. So we're gonna go all the way into that. For me, it wasn't hard for me. There was one time when I was 7. I remember it was July 4th. It was July 4th, whatever year I was 7 years old, and my dad came and picked me up and took me to Toys R Us and bought me a Louisville Slugger baseball bat. I always wanted a baseball bat because everyone in the apartments had a baseball bat. I just wanted the best one, a wooden Louisville Slugger. He bought me that, and back then, you used to play baseball with the Wilson tennis balls. So he bought me that with like 3 tennis balls from Toys R Us. He took me back home. And I let a partner of mine. I'm 7 years old. My partner was 13 at the time. He's like, "Hey, bro, can I see your bat? Can I play with it?" I'm like, "All right, bet." So he get the, normally back then you just bounce a tennis ball and just try to hit home runs in the apartments. That's all he was doing. I was standing too close to him, and he had got in there and swung, and it had hit me in the head right here. If you see it there, I've had a scar forever right here to where I got hit. I didn't know I was hit. I didn't even start crying until I saw blood rushing down my eyes, down my nose. And once anybody, when you're that young, you see blood, you just start screaming. So I start screaming. I run to the house. My dad, of course, he's not living with us. I go. We had a screen door. Remember, we had a screen door. I'm knocking on the door. I'm telling my mom let me in. She won't unlock the screen door because she see how much she see I'm bleeding so much, and she don't want to get her carpet messed up.
Your mom.
My mom. She did not let me in the house. She did not let me in. She's like, "Stay right there." So she went to go get a towel. Came back, 2 towels. Came back, pressed it, wrapped another one. Came in, called my dad. My dad rushed over, took me to the Children's Hospital. They stuck like a 7-inch needle in my head to numb they stuck it in my brain to numb it, to have to sew my skull was cracked. They had to sew the stitches back, numb my brain, and of course I had that for I think 45 days. But that showed me no matter what, my dad is there. He's not an absent father. Whatever I needed, my dad was a phone call away. So that let me know if ever I get too tired of being my mom, I can just call my dad. He was always with that. So I would always call him to go over there myself, to be like, I'm gonna go be with my dad for the weekend or a week and go be with, because again, he was very involved in the African culture in Dallas, to where he would go to African events, and I had that whole friendship and culture over there. So it wasn't too hard because he was always a phone call away, and again, he took pride over me more so than even my sisters, to where he said, I'll never want for nothing. My dad used to always say, and again, now that I'm older, I know he was lying, But he used to always say, everything that's mine is yours. So he'll say, this car I'm driving, he had a nice Pro, a 1993 Ford Pro back then. He like, this car is not mine, it's yours. This house, this apartment, this is yours. This bed is yours. All this is yours. It's not mine. So I used to really, as a kid, I'd be like, man, I can't wait to drive. That's mine. And I ain't gonna lie, he stood on it. Like a lot of stuff, he would say, that's yours. And as I got older, he would be like, no, you can drive it. It's yours. It's yours. So my dad was just very prideful in just having a son. And for me, it was cool. Now my sisters, they had problems. You know, one of my younger sisters, my sister Jocelyn, her and my dad, they had altercations a lot. You know, I mean, I think she put hands on my dad one time, slapped him for coming over to the house when my mom dropped us off. That
Your sister
my
slapped
sister
Trey.
slapped my dad
Wow.
at the age of like 10.
Wow.
Because he wanted her to do the dishes at his house and she wasn't trying to do them. And she just, but my sister, if anybody know my sister, she like that. So, yeah, she slapped him and, you know, it was all hell broke loose at that time. And, I don't know, it was always dichotomy of, I have my older sister, me and her are dark skinned, and my younger sister, my handicapped sister, my younger sister, they're light skinned. So it was always like my mom, she kind of chose her favorites sometimes. She would be like, she always loved me as a son, but she always had like, I got my lighter skin. You know, back then it was like, if you were lighter skinned, you just had more favor in America. Like you weren't as, you know, they look at you as back when you know, especially when you're African, they call you like an African booty scratcher or something. You know, they used to make fun of people that were dark skinned Africans. So me and my sister got a lot of flack for that. My older sister, my youngest two sisters, one was handicapped, so she can't even get no flack. But the other one, you know, she was like my mom's like princess. Like cause my mom was light skinned. She like, this is my child right here, cause she's light skinned. So there was a lot of that going on. But
did they cause you any turmoil growing up, knowing, you know what I mean, how your mom was and picking favoritism, you know? And can you answer this, man? Do you see the difference in between if you had to just grow up with your father compared to your mom?
Yeah, it didn't cause.
Is there any difference?
Yeah, it didn't cause any turmoil in me with my sisters, because again, I just had a different outlook on life. But it did cause turmoil in my older sister and my younger sister, not my handicapped one. So they had a lot of turmoil because of that. But for me, I just love family. I was always in the movies, and I was always into escapism. I was into books. So at an early age, I was into books. I was always about escaping. So, you know, if I could find a good book and escape my reality, I would do that all the time. So therefore, no, it's almost like being institutionalized. I know you yourself having to sit in jail. To me, finding a good book is an escape from your reality. So that's what I would do. Anytime that I feel like, you know, I was a kid making all A's, so I didn't really have no problems in like school wise. I made all A's up until my senior year. So my parents didn't get on me for nothing like being bad at school or nothing. And again, I use books and movies as an escape. Now your second question, what was it? It was what was the second question? I forgot.
Second question was just did it cause any turmoil, man, in between back and forth? And that was the first, but the second was, you know what I mean, do you see the difference between growing up with your mom compared to growing up with your dad, or being in either household? I mean, what's the difference that you noticed, you know, with certain way that your parents parented?
Yeah, so my mom remarried in 1994. So she was with my dad from like 1991 to 1993. My mom remarried, and she got with my stepfather, who was a military. He was in the Army, and I would say he was more strict than my father. He introduced me to no sir, yes sir, where you gotta say, no matter what you say and what you do, it's gotta be a no sir, a yes sir. So if he asks you something, it ain't just a yeah, nah, no. It's a, you have to say yes sir, you have to say no sir. So he had a militant mindset. He kind of wake up early. So now my mom, she wasn't like a single mother for long, to where I had to grow up with just a single mom. She got married quick into a militant man. So my dad was more lenient. My dad was like, y'all go do what y'all want. Like when my mom dropped us off at his house, he was like, y'all go do what y'all want. He would leave go to work and then go to the African party and leave us for like almost 24, 40 hours just when we won't even see him. So it was just us spending for ourselves. So he was more lenient, but I would say staying with my mom shaped me into being a better person, being more compassionate, not being such a savage or anything like that, and just having compassion for human life and for all things because my mom, again, she was a homemaker. A lot of people grow up with moms that have to go to work to take care of them. My mom stayed home every day. That means I wake up to go to school, she's home. She's at home cleaning up the house. I get home, she's home. Cleaning up the house, getting dinner ready. Every day was like a thing. My mom was the best cook. So, and even when my mom was with my dad, my mom was the type of mother to show how a woman's supposed to treat a man. She would lay out his clothes before he goes to work. She'll, when he come in from work, she'll get on her, she'll sit down and take his shoes off one by one, take his socks off, roll them up. She was that kind of mother. And most kids ain't seen that kind of stuff. For me to see that, it let me not only know how a woman should treat a man, but also how a man is technically king of his household. So, yeah, I think I got the best of both worlds because my stepdad came in and still was the father figure, and my mom was still, who she was, but also my dad could raise me from afar. And my stepdad one time did ask, can I adopt? He want to adopt all of us. And he went to my dad about it and said, man, I want to adopt your kids, make them my kids. And my dad, he's too prideful. He's like, nah, that ain't happening. You ain't, his language, hell no. Hell no. He was not about to give up his rights to us. So that never happened. And I commend my stepdad. He's no longer with us, but I commend him for stepping up because he had no kids at the time. And to step up to a woman with 4 kids and one being handicapped, and the kids are already kind of 8, 9, 10 years old. That's a hell of a man. I don't see too much like that happening now. So to see that, it raises you to be that it raises you to be, if not that, but better. If you get what I mean.
Man, that's walking in true light. As a man, I love to hear that. I was gonna ask you. Well, how was that dynamic between your father and your stepdad? With parents and what was the differences that you could have seen differently at a time that you didn't understand life in itself,
Yeah,
because I'm quite sure every family and household, especially when stepfathers and stepmothers and stuff are introduced, the kids feel some type of way, the moms feel some type of way, the dads, so how was that dynamic and how was you able to troubleshoot your way through life to get through those issues?
Yeah, my stepdad, he wanted us to call him dad. And I had to, he sat me down personally, but he sat us all down. And I want y'all to call me dad because he was that kind of man. And I told him I couldn't call him dad because I already have a father. So the compromise was calling him D, just to D, because we're not gonna call him by his first name. He commanded too much respect. Again, he ended up serving 20 years military, so that didn't happen. My father remarried as well. Once my mom remarried, my father remarried. He went back to Nigeria and got him a Nigerian woman who's my stepmom now. And my father had 2 new kids with her, my brother, my younger brother, and my younger sister. And my mom also had another son with my stepdad and having a brother. So, and both my half brother on my mom's side and my half sister on my dad's side were born literally 1 month apart. I don't know if they were in competition or what, but 1995, I had a new half sister. A month later, I had a new half brother, and from 2 different families. So that, again, to see my stepdad want us to call him father, and him dealing with my dad, going to my dad and asking him, hey, can I have your kids? It showed me that I have nothing but respect for him, and the way he maneuvered through dealing with us, it was respect. My stepdad, I think he only put me one time. I had walked somewhere when we had moved to Richardson, Texas for about 3 months when I was in 8th grade before we moved to North Dallas, Sun College. And he had with me for walking to GameStop or something, trying to play Nintendo 64 or something back then. And that was the only time he really whooped me. And he didn't, but he respected that as far as you're not my son. It's really for your father to discipline you. My sisters, he whooped them too, but he also realized that y'all are my daughters, and me as a stepfather, me whooping you, he knew that didn't make sense. Now my stepdad, he was 38 years old. He had a heart attack, triple bypass heart attack, or whatever. He had a triple bypass after that, to where he had that at 38, and he passed away in 2001 from, I want to say a broken heart, but I'm gonna say it was a heart attack because him and my mom separated in 2001, and he was staying in an apartment by himself, and they found him on the bed with like love letters to my mom. Where he passed away in 2001, a week before my prom. My mother, she had breast cancer in 1995. They had to take one of her left breasts before she had my little brother in 1995. But they took her left breast. She fought cancer. She went through chemo. This is back when breast cancer was still kind of new. She went through chemo. Survived that till 2003. 2 years after my stepfather passed, she died in the same month my stepfather passed. In 2003, she succumbed to her breast cancer. She chose not to fight it no more. And at that time, I was 20. So I lost my stepdad and my mom within 2 years before my 21st birthday. But my dad has always been there. My dad, he took in my younger sister who was handicapped. He took her in with his current wife. And ever since, to this day, he's still in the same house since 1995. He still watches my sister, who now her birthday's next week. She's about to be 38. She's about to be 39, and he's still with his wife, and it's that situation has been the same for the past 30 years over there.
Okay.
And, my mom, my dad, my stepdad no longer with us, so that situation changed.
Man, I didn't want to cut you off, but I definitely wanted to ask about that, man. You lost your stepfather, man. Weeks before your graduation.
Weeks before my graduation, he had a 1995 Camaro. If anybody know, Google 1996 Camaro. Google the 1996 SS Camaro. Those were the new body styles. And it was like a forest green, like a light green. Google that light green Camaro. And I asked him, can I drive this to the prom? And he was like, yeah, you can. And I was so excited. Prom was April 22nd. And I think he passed on April 13th, I believe, or April 17th. I have to go back and look at the date, but it was a situation where a week before my prom, he wasn't answering his phone. He separated from my mom because my younger sister who slapped my dad, the one who slapped my dad, she was just a trouble. She was just a problem at times. So my dad couldn't discipline her. My mom didn't want her to discipline her. My stepdad couldn't discipline her, and my mom didn't want her to discipline her. So he chose, hey, well, we need to just separate because if I can't raise your kids, I don't know why I'm in this relationship. So they had an argument. He went and paid for another apartment up the road off of Duck Creek in Garland. And he went to go stay there he was there for a couple months. And he would jog every day. And my mom was like, he's not answering the phone. So me, my mom, and my mom's friend, Miss Kathy, we went over there, knocked on her. My mom had a key to his house still. She tried to unlock the door. It wouldn't unlock, so that means the deadbolt was on. So my mom was like, wait a minute, the only way the deadbolt could be on is that means if he's still in there. So she was just worried, so we called the police to do the
Wellness check.
Yeah, the wellness check. 2 police officers came, they were knocking, he didn't answer. He didn't answer, they're like, well, let's kick the door down. They kicked the door down. They walked in, me and my mom was standing there, and the 2 police officers, 2 white cops walked out and said, he's in there. And my mom was like, what do you mean he's in there? Like, he's in there. And she just started screaming, breaking down, and my mom's friend was like, let me go in and see. And I never went in there to look see him, but it was just me, my mom, and their friend. I just stayed outside holding my mom, but he was in there in the bed, unalive.
Man, my condolences. My condolences to that man, and definitely. I mean, I hate to hear that, man. Yeah, man, I heard you did say, man, your mom actually passed shortly after, man. A couple years after, like about two years after.
Yeah, my stepdad. So I ended up not. Prom happened. I had my own car back then, so I ended up driving my own car to prom. But my mom, of course, she moved out of the apartment that we stayed in because just saw the history there. And she moved into her first house. She never lived in a house ever. But she finally moved into her first house. By that time, again, prom, my son was conceived. My son wasn't had, but my son was conceived on prom. Because I was with my girl, my high school sweetheart, and I told her, I said, me and you gonna be together forever, and we gonna have a child, and therefore, boom. So my son was born in 2002. 9 months later, my mom in 2002, she had my son, moved into a new house, and her cancer came back after she was free of cancer. It came back. She did a couple of days of chemo, and she just opted. She was very religious. She had found a new. She became a Baptist. I grew up Catholic with my dad. You know, most Nigerians grew up Catholic, but my mom became a Baptist. Found a new church house out in Fayette, Texas, and she just didn't want to fight the cancer no more. She said she had such belief in God that she's like, I don't want to fight it no more. The cancer was making. She didn't want to lose her hair again. Again, she lost a breast before, fingernails black. She just didn't want to fight it no more. She said she just wanted to let God do whatever He's gonna do. So she just opted to succumb to the cancer. So in 2003 in April, you know, if anybody's ever had a parent or anybody with breast cancer, any kind of cancer, the last few days it gets very scary of seeing what cancer can do to the body. Like human skeleton that's still alive. So my mom, she came, brought me in a room. I was living in North Dallas off Keller Springs at the time, but I would go visit her often, and she came in and told me, like, you know, she gave me instructions on how to live my life afterwards. I wasn't even 21 yet, but she told me, you know, make sure I take care of my little brother, make sure I take care of my son at the time, and she told me just make sure I'm great, just be great, don't settle for nothing, you know, just go out in the world and be great, you know, leave your mark and take care of your family. So I guess that is the genesis of how, you know, Street Stars came about, as far as my drive to stay consistent and stay dedicated without, you know, letting too many things get in the way of that. She told me to go out here and, you know, make history and try to be better than I could be. So she put that in me.
Man, I want to definitely give my condolences to that too, man.
Appreciate it.
Apologies for that, man, because you know, me as a black man myself, to lose a mother, man, I'm kind of like feeling the pain with you still, man. I believe that's something that, you know what I mean, that stays with you for life, you know, that you just learn how to deal with a little bit better and move differently.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It made me question God a lot. My mom, I'm telling you, so my mom was a homemaker. If anybody knows my mom, if anybody knows her, she was truly, I know people say this a lot, and everybody's mom is an angel, but my mom was truly, truly an angel on earth, man. She truly was never combative. My father wasn't combative. Still isn't to this day. Never, just the truest of angels on this earth. So for God to take her at such a young age, my mom was only 40, I think 43 at the time. For God to take her at such a young age, it just made me question God. It made me question, you know, a lot of things, and it made me not. At times, I feel like I didn't want to live. You know, that's choices and actions that I didn't care about the actions that my choices that I made. I didn't care about the reaction and like the cause and effect. I didn't care because I'm like, it made me understand that we're not here forever. You know, most people, I want to live till I'm 90 and 100. I said, my mom died at 43. My dad died at 41. My stepdad. I said, to me, when your parents die at 41 and 43, it makes you feel like ain't no life after 45. Why am I even worried about credit or this or that? The life will get taken from you at the blink of an eye before you even see gray hairs. So it made me go into like, it wasn't even depression. It made me go into like a sense of not caring a lot about things I did or actions that I made or decisions I made. So it did take me through it took me through a thing. I still kind of battled that a little bit. You know, I did therapy when I was younger, but
did you rebel as a young man at that point?
I don't want to say I rebelled. I would say, yeah, I kind of rebelled against my girl at the time. You know, she had to, because she had to ride that with me. You know, and what girl knows how to deal with a man who lost a mama? So she had to ride through that with me, and I rebelled against her a lot. I rebelled against my sisters a lot. I didn't care a lot about other things. I kind of did what I wanted to do. But as life keeps lifing, again, I still had a handicapped sister to take care of. You start honing it back in. So I wasn't like just off the rails, like let me just crash out. I'm still from good stock, and my dad is still around. So I honed it back in. As far as I was trying to get out there, I brought it back in. I wasn't no crash dummy out here. I wasn't crazy, but you know, there was a time when I was 17 through 25 trying to rap and living that rapper's lifestyle and trying to be living rapper's lifestyle or things. I didn't care about a lot of things. I was like, you know, I'd be in shootouts and I'd be like, whatever. You know, I'd be like, you know, if I get hit, I get hit. It's whatever. When I say I've been in shootouts, I don't mean like I'm in a shootout. I mean like I would be in the elements of us in Dallas as a clique, as a gang, and I don't want to say gang because we're not a gang. As a rap group, we'll get in fights or we'll get in altercations, and you know, I just didn't care a lot. You know, like it was more like exhilarated. I was about living life versus not living life. So I would do things to feel like I'm alive, and that was just, you know, you would say it's careless if you look. If it was my son doing it now, I'd be like, bro, don't. You're living careless. What are you doing? Hell no.
Okay, man. So, man, let's hop off into a different subject, man. I appreciate you for
you got some real stuff there, man. Some real backstory there. A lot of people ain't heard that.
Man, hey, man, you just, you know what I mean, gave me a lot of your early background, man. I know it's a lot more to it. I would definitely love to dive in at a later time. I want to get a lot out, man, because it seems like you got a lot of things, man. Yeah, man, you got a lot of things to talk about, man. I definitely want to ask you, man, how was it, man, 18 and up, man, after getting out your father's house, and was you grown at that time when your mom died?
Yeah, so my stepdad passed after doing the prom.
All right, man. Before we cut off, man, you know, you was getting into it, man, on the subject of, you know, what was it like, you know, transitioning from a child to actually adulthood, man, leaving your parents' house. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, you know, with my father passing, my stepfather passing the week before my prom, my son was conceived and, of course, born. I graduated in 2001. And then my son was born in 2002 of January. But I stayed with my mother up until my son was born, and then I moved out at 18 that summer of July. So I went to go stay by myself. My girl and my son, we moved off to Color Springs. I felt like technically I should have been staying with mom. I knew she had cancer, but it hadn't come back yet. But when I heard that it was coming back, I do feel it was a little selfish of me to want to live my own life out there. But you know, when you're young and my mom wanted me to pay $300 on the bills, and I was working at Jack in the Box at the time. And I was working Sears or Singular Wireless somewhere. But I feel like $300 was too much. I said, nah. Rent at the time was $450 for one bedroom apartment. So I said, I'd rather just go out and get my own spot. So I left. Me, my girl, my son, lived my own life over there. Started my rap career with my partners, where we going to the studio back when DSR was first getting started. Swisher House days. We would go up to T-Town Music with George Lopez and them, where you know, DSR would freestyle and we'll go into freestyle. We started a group called the Deca Boys. So I was really into my rap days at 18, 19, 20, to where I'm thinking I'm gonna be a successful rapper. I wasn't even that good of a rapper, but I felt I was good enough for being in a group of guys. And we thought we were like the young Wu-Tang of Bone Thugs. I was a real Bone Thugs and Harmony fan. To where doing everything 18 and after, me living on my own with my son, I would leave. My girl would stay at the crib with my son. I would go out and chase my rap career, going to Deep Ellum, going everywhere, just trying to make something happen with my partners. I kind of negated my mom and, you know, what she had going on with her cancer, because, you know, she was still raising my sister, my handicapped sister, and my little brother. So I was more so just trying to just really become a rapper. Really, that was my whole goal.
Okay. Man, you just mentioned the little brother, man. I didn't hear about him much, man. How was your relationship with your little brother, man?
Could always be better, man. We have you know, he's born in '95, so we have about a 12-year age gap. But he does, like, even to this day, he looks up and respects to me. Respects me. Shows a lot of respect to me. He's very fascinated. The fact that, you know, I am who I am, and, you know, I do what I do, and, you know, we have this, you know, this love in the city. So he's very proud. He's very proud of having me as a brother. But because of that 12-year age gap, I didn't get a chance to, you know, when I'm 20 something, he's 10. When I get in my 30s, he's just now turning 18. So it's just too much of an age gap to kind of be able to hang out with him. But to have a younger brother, I have two younger brothers. I got a half brother on this side of my mom, a half brother on my dad's side. And just having half brothers that young, I could always say that I could have done more.
Okay.
I could have done more.
Okay. When it comes to that family dynamic and your siblings, was it ever a thing where you ever felt like your sisters looked down upon you, or anybody looking down upon each other for, you know, the status that they're making in life? Your sisters graduated college, or you did something that aroused certain issues that wasn't quietly articulated through to each other.
Yeah, communication wrote a nation, and we didn't communicate a lot. Yes, I do feel like my older sister, she kind of closed herself off from us a lot as far as being the older sister and kind of being the patriarch of the family. She was on her own path in life. She started driving at 14 and stuff. But also, my dad, again, loving his son more than his daughters, that definitely caused a dynamic between my sisters and I, to where, being a Nigerian son to a Nigerian father, they found it, man, they put me through it. They had a disdain for me because my dad liked, you could say he cared for me more. He would, again, I told you, he wanted to give me more, like, this is yours, this is yours. They'd be like, well, how come your bed ain't mine? How come your car ain't mine? How come your house ain't mine? So the girls didn't understand how it takes a man to take the family name on. My dad would always tell my sisters, like, y'all will go out there and get married and change your name. My son, his name, the Madawagu name will be forever. Y'all can get married, which they have, and the name has changed. Like my dad would say, it's going to happen. But my son is the only person who can carry my name further and bring on the dynasty with him. So, they hated that, man, and it did cause some rifts. But, again, I'm a good spirit when I'm around, so I don't even come with, like, no evil or negative type of spirit. So, I never had no issues with no one, really, man. Anybody had issue with me, man, they dug deep to find an issue with me. They dug very deep into something that they probably didn't know they had to find an issue with me.
Okay, and you truly feel, that anybody that ever had an issue, it was them, wasn't you?
Yeah, no. So, everyone I've had an issue with, they look at me as less than. And I understand the fact that when you feel like somebody's less than, or they feel like they're already better than you, or smarter than you, or better looking than you, they feel like they should have more than you, or they should be in a better place than you.
Exactly.
People were always upset that I had such a sunny disposition, like nothing bothered me. Again, they call me Joker. But people go through everything every day. They be like, well, your mother died, your father died. How come you ain't fucked up? Why you ain't out here doing this or doing that? Why? So a lot of people have issue. A lot of people take issue to that because they feel like I don't care. They feel like I'm not empathetic. So people have issues with me, but no real issues. It's more so why people ask why him a lot. Why him? Even when it comes to Street Stars, I grew up with a lot of guys who I thought were better than me at a lot of things. I can see them now looking at me and saying, he wasn't that guy in school. Why? I was a better athlete. I was this. He had glasses in school. He couldn't even see. He stuttered. He stuttered all through school. Why is he? What is this? So I can see a lot of people just looking at that and saying, yeah, I have an issue with that. It's that old, what's the movie? I think it's Belly, where the banana. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Yeah, a lot of that happens in Dallas because they say you're not supposed to really make it where you're born at. Most athletes go off and play in the NFL somewhere where they're not even from. LeBron went to play off in Cleveland. He didn't play in Akron. So when you become successful in the neighborhood you grew up in, it's gonna come with people not liking the fact that you're successful. But when anybody get around me and get to know me, they'll look at my heart and they'll know that, like, man, that malice was misplaced. And he's a good dude. He's a father. He had to overcome a lot, and I respect it. It's just when people think that you didn't have to go through nothing to get something, they thought you went the easy way. It was never the easy way. So a lot of hate comes with this, man. And a lot of people act on that hate. People will act on that hate.
Most definitely, man. Let's jump into that a little bit, man. I did ask you, before the interview, man. Do you mind talking about these type of things, man? With your success on social media and just the internet in general. Um, is there ways, man, that you can get people to understand, man, exactly what it took for you to get to your statue and your place in life right now, with going through the things that you went through? For the people that may dislike hearing you or seeing you and all this when they don't have to watch.
Yeah, no, it takes a lot of sacrifice. People don't know with Real Life Street Stars, which again, Real Life Productions is the company, but Real Life Street Stars is an entity of that. When we started Real Life Street Stars, that was 2014. We had to buy a studio, let's just say however much this costs per month, the space we're in now. We had to pay that out of pocket. That means you have to have a dream where you're willing to take from your kids' mouths, your family mouth, to pay for that dream. And even when everyone's against it, don't do it, it ain't working, and even you go through the bad times, you have to see something and know something in you that this is gonna work. And there is no plan B. You have to have that mentality that this is gonna be it, and that's it. There is no other thing. So we started in 2014 with Real Life Street Stars, and we didn't start seeing money until really 2022.
No way.
2022. And mind you, I remember Sean Cotton from St. Cheese. I remember him saying, first Vlad said it. Vlad said we didn't start seeing success in money till 6 years in. I'm like, damn, 6 years, that's a long time to see not breaking even and kind of going over. And then I remember Sean Cotton said the same thing, that he didn't see success until after 6 years in. Mind you, we thought we were better. Like, we're like, nah, we could see it quick. It's a bunch of us. We can make it quicker. But no, it took us 8 years to finally start seeing some type of like, all right, this is now, we're breaking even and we're finally seeing success. So I tell anybody who gets in this, man, if you don't have something, you have to have a love for what you do beyond anybody criticizing you or anything, and something that's going to make you wake up. Again, I have 3 kids. There's nights to where I miss first grade graduations. I miss dentist appointments. I missed a lot to go out here and chase this thing. And it takes going through with your girl, arguing, threatening to leave and be like, oh no, please stay, it's gonna work out. A lot of people do that. A lot of people say, when I make it, you make it. Hey, do this beat for me. Hey, rap on this song for me. When I make it, you make it. A lot of people promise you that. So that's the promise we give to our family members. When I make it, we gonna make it. Don't worry, just trust the process. No one ever could prepare someone or your kids or anybody that this process is gonna take a decade. No one can prepare you for that. But if you stay consistent, you stay true to what you are, you will break through. A lot of things can happen. I tell you this, a lot of people have died on this journey that has been part of this journey. A lot of people that has been Street Stars members are not here no more, have died, not being able to see what we become. So really, it's like that speech you hear at the Grammys where people want to thank God first. You have to thank God first, because a lot of things could play into everything to make us not get to this moment here. And only God is an entity that could say, ain't luck or nothing. It's just God saying, this is your path. You've stayed the course. You've been tested, and you deserve this. But even with that, who knows what responsibility we have to do with it and go from there. But it does take. I would tell anybody who's doing this, consistency is key, and an idea that you could be more. It's like when you go watch the Avengers movie, they have to build up to the Avengers. But it all started with, at the end of Iron Man, Samuel Jackson's like, I had an idea of getting these group of people together and having, this, y'all come together to save the world. I mean, any of them actors could have died and not had this happen or whatever, but only God can say, if you put a thought in motion and you stay the course, that motion could see itself out. But honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, we just be having fun. So we do this with fun,
definitely
and having fun has been successful.
Man, I definitely love that, man. And just like you were saying, man, because I always had the you know what I mean, the visions of Dr. Umar, Charleston White, Love Dorsey, you know, getting them in a podcast setting, a Jag, War Right, you know, a few more other, you know what I mean, people, man, that actually speak truth and, you know where they stand in their political stance, you know. So man, I'm gonna jump off into something different, man. As far as in what you were saying, you know, this type of thing that you do with interviewing and real life street stars is a lane that I'm getting into too. Do you believe purpose and divine is, you know, for some people like yourself or people that you meet, that it may be meant for you to get more involved in what you would usually for an interview?
Well, first I'll say this. Yes, you are stepping on lane, Dom, and I gotta say, you know, you have a natural talent for this because what it takes is, in order to do interviews, you have to be a good orator. You have to be a good speaker, and also be dig a little deeper than some. And even me getting to know you through our interview that we did separately, and then you doing this, you have technically what it takes to start sharpening that tool and becoming one of the greatest conversationalists. Because that's all it is, just having a conversation. And that's what we do, just have conversations. So I got to first commend you for that. So when you say getting Dr. Umar, Charleston White, Jaguar in the room together, you have to have the kind of confidence to say, I can moderate that conversation. I can bring up thought-provoking questions that will get them speaking for 20 hours. And you have that in you. So with that being said, and again, I just have to say that, but I guess if I get your question is, doing what we do as far as, I guess you call it podcast or interviewing, I was working a job up until 2022. And it was one of those moments where I was working a customer service job, doing claims. And I was like, I hated that job. I hated it. It sucked. You know, claims is just dealing with losses. That's all you did was loss. So having to talk to people every day about, you know, losses, it sucks you out of just life. So I took a leap of faith and said, I'm gonna just cold turkey quit my job. And I told my guys, I said, man, if you guys could just promise me just $1,000 a month, I can take this company to the next level. It shows that we can really get to it. And they were like, yeah, we'll make sure you have $1,000 to just show us that this could be done. And I took it. That was March of 2022. And I never looked back. I never made less than that. I never looked back. So, and I never plan on looking back from the standpoint of, a lot of people question like YouTube and these TikToks and Instagram, are they here to stay? A lot of my guys' question is this stuff here to stay? And I'm like, why even worry about what you don't have no power to say so? Just wake up and deal with the day up and make smart decisions. So a lot of my guys, you know, they still work regular jobs. But me, myself, I took a leap of faith where I do this for a living now. And I'm not looking back. So the skill of interviewing, it is a skill that you have to hone in. You have to be serious about. I don't think you can be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You can't be like, well, let me go work at McDonald's and come do this. You have to look at McDonald's as a means to an end to get to this. This is what you want to do. And you have to put a little more of your heart and soul into this. But having a conversation, I look at it like this. It's not an interview. Like, I'm not interviewing people just to ask questions off of paper. I don't really pull questions out of tablet or anything. I just really look at the psychology of what an interview is. When I talk to someone, I just want to get the psychology of what makes them tick, what makes them who they are. And like me and you were having this conversation, and you had brought up, you're bringing up things in my past that you could probably understand of what makes me who I am, what molds a man, or what molds a man's thoughts. So when you have a Charleston White, when you have a Jaguar, you have a Dr. Umar, you have to ask the kind of questions that psychologically, what makes them who they are. And then from there, then you could have maybe fun and interesting questions, or go here or there. You could, the line of question go anywhere. But you have to understand, if a person, you know, if you could interview the guy who made Mario and ask him, well, why'd you make Mario? And he'll tell you, oh, blah, blah, blah. He'll say something in that story that should provoke another question of, well, why did you what happened to you in that moment for you to feel like you need to make a Mario? And And once you start getting to the who, what, when, where, and why, where a person is looking deep in themselves, you kind of got the gift to do this thing called, podcasting or interviewing, or you have to understand what the audience want to know.
Most definitely.
Once you understand your audience, man, it's sky's the limit.
Man, I appreciate that answer, man. A lot,
I didn't know if I answered the question. I was just
Yeah, man, you answered the question in so many different ways because divine purpose you can't really answer. You can only demonstrate in ways and stuff that you
speak on what happened and how
Yeah.
we got here.
Exactly.
Divine purpose is. I'll say this: the reason I do this, the reason everyone's doing this,
That's an action.
yeah, everyone's doing this thing for a different reason. Some people are in it for the money. Some people are in it for clout. Some people love different things. I honestly do it for the legacy of what this is. We are telling a story in Dallas that if the aliens come down in 3,000 years and say, well, what the hell is a Dallas and what are stories that happened back then? But let me not go that far, aliens. Let me just go with somebody from out of town coming to Dallas. They could look at the real life street stars and say, there is a history documented of Dallas that you don't have to go further than this channel to understand what is Dallas, what is this history. Now, mind you, we are moving beyond Dallas. So now it's to a point to where I'm looking at legacy. Like, if my kids ever want to know, like, who I was and what kind of man I was, or even my kids' kids or whoever, I'm doing a damn good job of creating something that they can go back and say, there is hours and hours and hours of who Joker was, of what made him tick, the funny moments, the sad moments, the serious moments. And we're just, thank God we're in an internet age to where we could collect data on ourselves better than before, where we're just basically collecting history. So every day I wake up and I be like, man, there's two people in this world. There's producers and consumers. People that create things and people that consume things that people create. And I personally, when it comes to writing history, I personally want to be on the side of I created more than I consumed. I want to be the side of art. Like, I created something that someone found and moved them. I want to be part of that story that someone said, wow, I was going to take my life, I was going to do this, and I thought otherwise because I watched this interview. And maybe I was a conductor of that train to bring that home. So that, to me, gives me more purpose. My dad always wanted me to be a doctor and or a lawyer or something, some type of thing like that. And I tell my dad, I'm like, I don't have a college diploma, nothing like that. But I tell my dad, I'm like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a president, but I feel like I've done enough work to where I've touched enough people that you could look at me in the same breath as a doctor or as a lawyer when it comes to helping people. So I take this as serious as that there's a field of somebody being a physical therapist and there's somebody being, let's say, a mental therapist with what we do as far as helping someone from afar that we didn't even know we're touching. So I take it that serious.
Let me spoon back a little bit, man, because it's something I must have missed, man, because I'm quite sure people around the world and even the people on Real Life Street Stars would want to know, man, how did you learn to articulate yourself, break down certain situations to where most people grew up in this thing of curiosity, you found your way to where you at now and still making lanes.
Yeah, no, again, I was always a smart kid. I was always very big on the psychological process, what makes things tick. I always ask myself questions. I never was a person who just took, like religion as one said and done, or the Bible, or just this and that. I always have to ask myself questions. Why? Why are we here? Things like that. So, like I told you earlier, I got to reading a lot. I got to escapism. I got to, if I'm having problems at home, I can jump into a book or jump into a movie. And when you start jumping into a book or movie, is like almost like traveling to a different world or going to someone else's mind. When you do that enough, you start understanding how other people think and tick. So, me, myself, I started, when it comes to articulating, I started just having, I'm a procurer of conversation. I like to procure conversation. So if I'm meeting a stranger, I like to see what will make a stranger tick. I like to see what will make them cry, what will make them laugh, what will make them smile, what will make them mad. and I try to hone that into like compartment and say, man, can this be used on this person, that person? And once you do it enough times, you kind of understand the human experience, and you're like, wow, there are different, like 8 different personalities or this or that, and you have to be able to go out here in the world and sharpen that sword. You got to be able to use that. So I'll leave here, and I'll go to Jack in the Box or McDonald's, and I would love to see what makes a drive-through person tick. I'll ask them a question that maybe they weren't expecting, and the response they give, I compartmentalize that and say, okay, damn, that's dope. So again, understanding the human psyche, or having an intrigued mind of how the human works, man, that's a powerful thing, man. And I'm really curious of this thing we call life and how people move. A lady wants to have an abortion. I'm really curious of why she wants to have an abortion. If she's pro-life or pro-choice,
Sorry.
I'm curious of what makes her that way. And honestly, when you dig deep into it, like we're doing now, maybe it's one thing that might happen when she was 3 years old that shaped her into who she is today. And even whatever that was that shaped her, I like to not only break down the psyche of that, but also propose a what if. What if this happened? And once you get people looking inside themselves and asking something different, there is an entertainment factor in that. As far as when we do these interviews and we're having these conversations, there's an entertainment to breaking down psyche.
Most definitely.
So yeah, I just delve into that, but it is something that took a lot of books, took a lot of talking to people, and it took an inquiring mind to get to this point.
Most definitely, man. That's well said, man. Man, you're talking about some of the things that that actually as an interviewer, that people need to learn to procreate the skill right, to be able to learn these things right. But man, you said something that stuck out, that I would love to ask you. I haven't seen one side of you that's triggering. It's a lot of things that I heard that maybe could hurt, inside, but I haven't seen one thing that I was able to say, bring up, that actually gets you mad.
Yeah.
Where do that come from?
Again, my mama died, man. I was mad at God. Anyone who lost a mom before the age of 20, it takes a lot to get someone mad after that. So, and mind you, again, I tell you what kind of mother I had and my father. My father don't get mad either. He's very passive, and I'm myself very passive. A lot of people get mad like, "Yo, you too passive. You allow too much. You let people do this or do that to you." Man, I really believe like if you let that energy in, it can take over. So I believe over time, man, I'm gonna have a okay life in which I'm gonna just keep giving back. I'm gonna keep doing the right thing, what I feel is right, and not be so triggered by the small things.
I like that.
Somebody could come bang on this door right now. Police kick it in, tell me get on the ground, call me a nigger, white cop, curse me out, give me, treat me all kind of ways. I won't probably get mad at that. I probably want to interview the man afterwards and find out what made him exactly what he was. That's my intriguing mind. I got arrested for the first time when I was 14 for stealing out of a Target. I was stealing a magnifying glass. I was gonna go burn some ass. Stupid. But whatever. I got arrested, and as they took me downtown to put me in a hole. No, I'm sorry. I was 16. I got arrested. I got caught stealing at 14. I got arrested at 16. But they took me downtown. And they took me down there. And they were expecting me to be mad and upset about getting arrested. And, they took me down into Dallas, the jail cell. And they asked me, "Do you know where you at?" I said, "Yeah, this is where Lee Harvey Oswald got shot, right?" And the cops were so surprised at how I knew that. Like, I'm 16. They're like, "Why even? Who knows that?" And because the way they were treating me, they were trying to break me down spirit-wise. But after that, they're like, "Damn, why are we?" I like to make it like this. I like to, whenever someone tries to trigger me, I like to flip it on them with love. I do believe I kill everything with love. We interviewed Jaguar Wright a lot. She came at us to like, I don't want to deal with street stars no more. I kill it with love. We deal with Charleston White a lot. He's like, I ain't dealing with you street stars no more. Done. You know, y'all, blah, blah, blah. I kill it with love. Any problem that I've ever had in life, I kill it with love. And I'm not talking about the Puff Daddy kind of love.
Most definitely.
But I really do have like a genuine love for all humans, man. I've had people that done me dirty, rob from me, steal from me. I kill it with love. I kill the energy of what that was with love. So,
Same here.
yeah. What made me that? What brought that to me? I got to give my mom and my dad. Again, my mom was an angel. My dad, it was very passive. You know, it's only through them that I'm who I am today. So.
You know, man, I ain't want to take up too much of your time, man. So, you know what I mean?
I love these questions. I love these line of questions.
With a lot of this being said, man, yeah, man, I know you're very busy, man. You got a lot to do.
Yeah, we stay busy.
You know, as far as an overall message as a man, for not only black kids but as any young boy growing up, man, what is it that you can tell them, man, to help stay on the right path and continue to strive for greatness?
Man, what I would say is we were all a little boy or a little girl once. We all had a moment of where we were happy and life was simple. Whenever you're going through a dark time, a dark place, or you're faced with a tough decision, try to just simplify your life back to that moment when you were just an adolescent child and you were happy. And if you just trust in God, I promise you, everything will work itself out. No matter if you're caught up for this, for that, you're in trouble with this, you're in trouble with the law, your girl's pregnant, you don't know what to do, your daddy's beating on your wife, your dad's beating on your mom, your sister robbed you, your partner is sleeping with your girl. Simplify everything back to that moment when you were a kid and life was very simple, to where you have no worries and all you have to do is worry about what cereal to eat in the morning. I know it's very hard to think like that. Like, nah, bro, there's real problems. I got to figure out what I'm going to eat tomorrow. But I promise you, if you just say, let me simplify it back to that and just see what the day brings. Positive energy begets positive energy. If you put negative into the world, negative will come. So the moment somebody robs you, you want to go rob them back, it's a downward spiral that's going to keep happening. If you just say, man, I live and let God, something's going to happen that's going to bless your life. Maybe you might find a lottery ticket on the ground. Something's going to happen to where it's going to put you back in a positive spirit. So I would say live and let God. And just stay. It's kind of hard to say that because everybody has a different experience of life. But like I say, there was always a moment where everyone was a good person. When they were a child or whatever, and they just kind of said life was simple. Go back to that moment, live and let God, and just stay on the path of righteousness, man. Again, you can't always be right, but I'm a praying man. Again, I pray every day. I know people joke about that. I really do pray every day. And if it's not, and when I say I pray every day, because everybody say that. I don't sit down at night and pray, God, please let my day be great. I don't wake up and get on my knees and thank the Lord, make my shepherd. I don't do all that. When I'm consuming any type of food, I say a prayer for the food, but I say a prayer for my life. And that's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Anytime I eat, I say a prayer that goes beyond just what my body's about to consume. But I say a prayer for what my life is about to consume, what my world is about to consume. And when I pray, no matter what, again, I lost my mom. So I used to feel like these prayers fall on deaf ears. But in prayer, things start turning around in my life. And mind you, there's so much work to be done that people look at the street stars and say, man, you guys made it. We're so in it, like you said, I got to go do some stuff now. I don't even have time to consume that we are doing something great because my day-to-day is so like, just go get to it. So I haven't achieved what I wanted. My kids don't have what I want them to have, and I don't have that fulfilling life. So I'm so in it, I don't ever feel it. But when I do things like where we just were able to talk to Jaguar right off camera and see what that may have done for your day. And what I want to say in closing is that, live every day to the fullest. Carpe diem, seize the day, seize the moment. Because again, I tell you, my mom died at 43, my dad died at 41, and their life wasn't promised. So I hope they accomplished as much as they did. I hope that they didn't live saving for a future that they never got the chance to see. So I would tell anybody who's chasing this dream or chasing a dream, just to stay active every day, wake up every day, and try to be a creator, to this world. Try to add something to this world that, whether through legacy, maybe you're doing it for money, maybe you're doing it for clout, but create a legacy where you're creating versus just being a person who will sit and consume all day and consume what others create. Everyone is a creative in some kind of way. Whether you cut hair, whether you do art, whether you do podcasting, whether you write books, whatever you do, you're a creator in some kind of way. Add something to this world, because this world is begging for that history to be made. So I would say seize the day, every day, and create something, no matter what it is. Start somewhere. Don't just talk about it, be about it.
Man, with that being said, man, I appreciate you for coming on to the D Shoemaker interview, man. I appreciate you, man. That conversation with Jaguar Wright, man. Big, man, that's a big thing, man.
Yeah,
right
I hope
there.
y'all
You know
link
what
up.
I'm saying?
We're speaking to existence right now, man. You will see Dom and Jaguar link up for a dope conversation.
Most definitely. That's on the horizon. I'm really just admiring, man, the professionalism and everything, man, that you bring to the table as of your person and who you are, the man you is, and the things you do for the people around you and the people that you currently, is adding to your life. Hopefully with value. I appreciate everything, Joker. This is not the last interview. Matter of fact, man,
So much more to talk about.
I want to set up another one, man, because man, we just barely scraped the surface
So much more to talk about.
of pretty much you as an adolescent at that time. So yeah, man, I would love to get more information and do another dope interview, man.
Yeah, and I want to give it to you first. There's some exclusive stuff that happened in real life street stars and what the inner workings of real life that I would love to give you exclusives on that no one's ever heard. And I would love for your platform to have it first. So therefore, when the history is told, you can say that it broke right here.
Thank you a lot, man. Thank you a lot, Joker. Thank you.